Yeah, I think it's an interesting question because Uber is a combination of retail media and some other things as well, and I'll talk through those. So I think if you look at the more traditional retail media model, i.e., a user with intent to purchase something, and how that goes from there. So Uber Eats is a really good example of that. So user comes on, most people go onto Uber Eats or platforms like it, probably knowing that they want a delivery, but they don't quite know what they want, which partner they're going to work with. So therefore, retail media becomes very important there in terms of pushing people to a particular brand or a partner, depending on what they're looking for. I think when you look at our rides business, our sort of car business, it's not really retail media because people are moving with intent to places rather than to purchase things specifically. But it's a sort of in-car attention model. So, people are engaging with our ads and our partners as part of their journey, but it's not quite the same as perhaps a pure retail media model. So we're sort of in two different spaces. One is a more brand space, one is performance retail space. But I guess for us, the key thing is that first party data drives both sides of the business, and you can combine that data should you want to. Well, I think the starting point is obviously, the number of riders we have, the number of eaters we have, sort of our global reach of that customer base. And then we've publicly stated that we're building this advertising business around that data. And therefore, we're using, as we said, some retail media techniques, I guess, in terms of the first party data to derive that. But we're also thinking about how do we engage across the funnel to some degree in terms of marketing terms, and use other surfaces and formats to provide other experiences for advertisers within our platform and for our users. So, and I think one of the key principles here is we're always going to be concerned with what's our customer. We're not an advertising business, obviously. What's our customer view on what we do? So how does advertising integrate to our customer experience? And how do we responsibly use data to allow targeting, but in a proper manner? So I think we sort of start with retail media as a base point. So that was the first thing we offered, was obviously sponsored ads within the Uber Eats environments. And now we're expanding all the way through to what we do in the in-app experience on the ride side, but also testing tablet experiences within Uber, the Uber car experience that we've been testing in the US, which is essentially a tablet that sits on the back of the front seat that guides people through their journeys to some degree. So we're sort of starting with retail media, but then obviously expanding into other areas. And it goes to, I think Mark, our VP for ads, has talked about this a lot in terms of the idea of the car becoming more of an entertainment space than purely just a driving space or travel space as it used to be, and how we can capitalize upon that. Well, I think there's a general trend to growth in advertising investing more in this space. And I think that's driven by obviously the deprecation of cookies, but also by the fact that this first party data is, full of users with intent, which makes it potentially more valuable. So you're seeing growth there. I think that comes with some other, things the industry has to sort out, maybe standardization of, in some cases, standardization of reporting. Those types of things are probably areas that are going to come through, and I've seen some requests from advertisers on that. And I think the way we've addressed it, we're always going to be with our ad business advertiser first, so we need to work out what advertisers want and how we can report back to them. I think other areas of growth will be changes in formats, so more video formats will start coming into the retail media space, which has been traditionally quite sort of text and image based up till now, but I think that's going to come naturally as with the rest of it. And I think you'll see more interesting opportunities like the one we talked about in terms of taking the opportunities into other areas or other services or other moments of a consumer's experience, which is what we can do obviously in cars.